Hello, I am Nukin. I am back with another Galaxy Heroes episode, and we're going to be doing a ship video today on Akbar's Home 1. So in my Executrix in-depth guide, some people in the comments were asking for a Home 1 guide. So here it is. Enjoy. We're going to talk about Home 1, specifically the Geonosian lineup. It's the strongest lineup, and it's the lineup that you should probably work on eventually anyways, because it's great in territory wars. So even if you're not going to run this team in Fleet Arena, with just a little bit of investment, you can actually have some great success in TW ships as well. So kick back and relax, and let's talk about Home 1. So first off, let's take a look at the lineup, and then we'll take a look at the reinforcement order upgrades and also the prestige order upgrades for Akbar's capital ship. So first off, you definitely want to run the Geonosian ships. The bugs are good. They have great synergy. You can run them on any other capital ship, but they are the best under a Home 1 capital ship. And you definitely want to run these guys even in TW. Put them under the Home 1 capital ship in TW as well, even if they're under geared, and save some of your more specific niche pilots and ships for other capital ships that have less flexibility. Now let's talk about the reinforcements. For the reinforcements, you're looking for a formula such as one tank, a couple of support ships, and a high damage dealing attacker. There are other options. For example, if you don't want to run Poe, you can do TIE Silencer, Young Lando's Millennium Falcon. If you don't want to do Ghost and Phantom, you can do a couple of other support ships. Whatever you have geared up the most will probably end up working better. Of course, if you've upgraded the reinforcement abilities of other ships as well, you can do those ships on top of the Ghost and Phantom if you don't want to run them, but I do highly recommend them. And if you don't have a Biggs geared up, which would be really surprising since Biggs was a meta ship for a long time, since the beginning of ships, you can do Clone Sergeant as well. Clone Sergeant as a reinforcement can taunt. So those are my reinforcement recommendations. There are definitely some flexibility. You can do TIE Advance, Boba Fett. There are a lot of other options, but I believe this is the best sort of reinforcement setup. Now I want to showcase a quick auto battle against the Tarkin Executrix Momentum lineup that I did an in-depth video guide on recently. If you haven't checked that out, click the card in the top right or the very first link in the video description after this video. I want to set some expectations here. Both of these lineups can win on auto against each other, but they have a high chance of defeat. So basically the AI or the RNG is worse on auto on offense for both of these fleets. So if you're going to be doing offense with any of these fleets, either one, you're going to actually probably going to have to manually play it because most attempts ended up in a defeat. So just want to set some expectations there. If you're planning on running any of these fleets, you're going to have to manually play them in Fleet Arena. Now let's quickly talk about the prestige upgrade order for the Home 1 capital ship. So this may be a given, but just to make sure everyone knows, if you're going to run this ship or any capital ship for that matter in Fleet Arena, make sure that you have it fully maxed with all the abilities upgraded to the max with the prestige. And if you're running low on prestige, buy some using your arena currency. It's very important to max out all the abilities in Fleet Arena. Now if you're just going to use this ship, the Home 1, in territory wars, and I'm going to give you some advice. This actually applies to all of the other capital ships. If you want a small edge in TW, if you just upgrade the ultimate and the crew power ability, which happens to be band together in master plan here, you're going to have a small sort of boost in performance and you'll have a little edge in TW. But if you're going to go all the way, this is sort of the prestige upgrade order that I would do, and this is with a Geonosian lineup in mind. So first off, band together is the crew power ability, so let's go over that together real fast. A fully upgraded band together is going to give your ships, whenever they attack out of turn, which happens all the time on the Geonosian fleet, a nice damage boost and also a survivability boost. You're going to be getting double the protection up from 15% to a whopping 30% protection up whenever any ship attacks out of turn, so it's kind of a no-brainer. Next up, you're going to want to upgrade an ability that you can use multiple times in the battle that's going to not only help with the weakness of the fleet, but also to amplify one of its strengths. So one of the strengths of the Geonosian fleet is high burst damage. This is going to give you more burst damage. Also, it's going to give you some AoE damage, which is something that is lacking in the Geonosian fleet. Next up, you're going to want to do Seize the Advantage, which is going to help with one of the other weaknesses in the Geonosian fleet. When one of the Geonosian fleet ships dies or gets destroyed or whatever, you lose a lot of synergy, so you definitely don't want that to happen. So being able to heal the protection and the health of a ship, one of the Geonosian ships, is going to be very good. After that, I would upgrade the Ultimate Master Plan and then the basic ability Mon Cal Cannons. So now that we finished talking about the prestige upgrade order for Home 1, let's do another auto battle showcasing here against the Tarkin Empire Momentum fleet, the best fleet in the game, at least right now. So the Geonosian lineup, we did an auto battle earlier in the video, and I talked about how both of these fleets have a low win rate when you do full auto on offense. There is just some sort of difference between the AI, maybe in defense versus offense, or maybe you get slightly worse RNG to make up for poor AI. Something is going on where full auto on offense is not equating to basically holding on ship defense. And I was also testing other reinforcement options like the Slave 1 in case you didn't have a Ghost, Phantom, or Poe, and it is possible here to win. But I want to remind everyone that first off, this was actually a very close victory, and most auto attempts end up with a defeat, so you're going to have to manually play that. So we'll take a look at a manual battle at the end of the video, but now let's move on to reinforcements and the order of upgrading them. We have arrived at the reinforcement upgrade order. So if you're going to run the Geonosian fleet and you're going to take my advice on running the reinforcements that I suggested earlier, which would be Biggs, Ghost, Phantom, and Poe, this is the upgrade order of getting those reinforcement abilities to level 3. So first off, you're going to want to start off doing Covert Strike on Phantom 2. There's a few reasons for this. First off, Phantom 2 is relatively a weak reinforcement until you get this to level 3, so definitely make this a priority. It's a very strong ability because you're going to be able to reduce the cooldown of the reinforcement call on the capital ship, so you can do back-to-back reinforcements, which is going to be great. And then you're going to want to do engine tuning on Biggs for a few reasons. One, you're always going to be calling Biggs as your first reinforcement, and two, at level 3, Biggs is going to be applying the target lock, which is going to activate the conditional of the special ability of calling an ally to assist, which is going to be great because you want allies to be doing damage out of their turn to capitalize on the Home 1 synergy crew power and do extra critical damage and get protection up on random other characters. So definitely start off doing engine tuning. Second, next up, you're going to want to do reconnaissance, and this is the Ghost reinforcement ability. You're going to want to do this third. So when you do this at level 3, it's going to apply target lock on all the enemies out there, which is good, which is going to actually help the Ghost synergize more with his own kit, and it's also going to activate other conditionals on your fleet. So we just talked a little bit about Biggs. Also, the Geonosian soldier has a good conditional. Both attackers, when you do the special, get 50% offense when attacking target locked enemies, and so that's going to be one reason. The other reason is that most battles just don't make it to the 4th reinforcement in the current fleet arena meta, so definitely would be a waste to upgrade Poe if he's never even called out. So definitely do reconnaissance third. Lastly, we want to talk about Poe. So the 4th reinforcement by default to take to level 3 would be Poe, and this is because at level 1 at the get-go, I did a video on this, and Poe ranked quite high on my top 5 ship reinforcement abilities at level 1 that you can start to use immediately. The level 1 dramatic entrance reinforcement ability is actually quite good as it is, and just gets a little bit better as you upgrade it. So that is the the reasoning there. Now I have some extra reinforcement options here: Young Lando's Millennium Falcon, Slave 1, and Plo Koon. I want to quickly talk about that, and then we'll do a manual battle. Young Lando's Millennium Falcon is actually stronger than Poe, but because this ship is still not free to play grindable, I didn't want to recommend it as a 4th reinforcement. It's gonna do okay at level 3, but you need to get the ship to level 5 to get a level 3 reinforcement upgrade. We talked about a little bit about Slave 1. I showcased Slave 1 works as a reinforcement, and upgrading Slave 1 to level 3 is going to help the ship last longer, so not a bad idea. And then Plo Koon actually is a very decent ship because you're going to actually help recover the health and protection of your Geonosian ships, which is good because you don't want them dying. When one of them starts to die, you lose a lot of the synergy. And also at level 3, you cleanse a bunch of debuffs like the TIE Advance, Offense Down, and all those dots, which is also quite good as well. Now we're going to take a look at a manual battle against the Tarkin Executrix lineup, because most likely you're going to have to manually play this. So I like to start off using the Defiant Volley ability. This is going to give some protection up on my Geonosian ships to absorb the AoE damage from the AoE attack from the Executrix. And here we're already about to take out Biggs just off the high damage output of these ships and calling each other to assist, which is awesome. I call in Biggs as my first reinforcement, and I go ahead and use the special right away because at level 3 you apply target lock, which is great. On reinforcements on the Executrix, they're going to have the Retribution up buff, and go ahead and just stun those characters, and whenever you attack them, they're not going to counterattack you back if they're stunned. Go ahead and use Geonosian Soldier and Geonosian Spy specials, and you'll end up taking out another ship. We just took out the Sun Fac, and you notice, actually let's go back and rewind for a second and take a look at that damage output real fast. Just take a look at this damage potential, and keep in mind this is Sun Fac, a tanky ship, one of the tankiest ships in the game. The special ability calling all the Geo ships to attack, basically reducing Sun Fac to almost 25% HP around there. And then Geonosian Soldier, since he's target locked, can kill him by himself with the special. The assist attack wasn't even needed because you're getting 50% offense whenever Geonosian Soldier uses his special on target locked enemies. That's a big other reason why we want to upgrade Biggs and the Ghost to level 3 on those reinforcement abilities to just have more target locked enemies out there. In the middle or towards the end of the battle, you're going to want to use Seize the Advantage, which heals some health on some of your Geonosian ships. And since Sun Fac and Geo Soldier are already at full HP, we're just going to go ahead and call in a reinforcement, and a great reinforcement against the Imperial TIE Fighter or any other ship that has no protection remaining is going to be Poe. He's going to come in and do an unavoidable huge critical attack, and that cannot be avoided, and boom, the TIE Fighter is dead and we have a victory. So that's a wrap for this video. If you liked it, make sure to smash that like button. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button, tap that bell, and I'll see you guys all in my next video. Cheers.
The Force will be with you, always.